From the Northway Bank Online Newsroom, I'm Gare McKenzie. This local and regional news update is brought to you by Northway Bank. Like Northway Bank on Facebook, and they'll donate $1 up to the first 1,000 to the New Hampshire Food Bank. Visit facebook.com/Northway Bank today. Northway Bank with 17 locations throughout New Hampshire. The people you know, the bank you trust. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Here's the news. Wolfboro Fire and Rescue Deputy Chief Tom Zotti says no one was hurt late Friday afternoon when a fast-moving fire moved through a heavily wooded area off Boulder Brook Road. Zotti's department responded just before 5 o'clock after being told of smoke in the area and located the fire shortly before 5:30. A first alarm was declared quickly as arriving crews found the fire quickly moving up a hill. The fire was declared under control shortly after 6:15. Zotti says about 3/4 of an acre burned. The cause is being investigated. Fire departments from Ospey Corner, Tuftonboro, and Wakefield assisted, as did Wolfboro Police and Stewart's Ambulance. Rain this weekend may have provided some relief, but Zotti says the lack of snow over the winter has resulted in a very dry early spring. And with last week's unusually high temperatures, the New Hampshire Division of Forests and Lands says the wildfire season has come early. Brad Simpkins is the division's interim director.
We've got our towers ready, so our fire towers are staffed on high fire danger days. We brought on our seasonal patrols several weeks earlier than normal, so we're ready and we're geared up for fire season, but it's certainly quite a bit earlier than normal. A lot of people, particularly after all the storms we've had, people like to clean up their brush in the spring, clean up their yard. And because of the dry conditions, many communities around the state may not be allowing any outdoor burning right now. So before you do any burning, you really need to contact your local fire department and forest fire ward to see if they're issuing permits and if it's safe to burn.
Permits are required in New Hampshire for any open burn when the ground is not covered with snow. Simpkins also cautions against burning on a windy day or turning your back on a fire. For more information about the division, including the current fire conditions, see the website at nhdfl.org. The New Hampshire House is voting this week on a bill that would require pregnant women to wait 24 hours and get explicit information on fetal development before getting an abortion in New Hampshire. The House voted 189 to 151 to pass the bill, then decided to send it to a second committee to review the penalties. That committee recommends removing the harshest penalty, a felony punishable by up to 15 years in prison for violating the law. Violators would still be open to malpractice lawsuits or disciplinary action by the State Board of Medicine. Opponents argue the information is biased and forces doctors to read from a script rather than discuss the situation with their patient. Supporters say women need to have the information to make such an important decision. In Maine news, a trial is set to begin for a Bridgeton man charged with drunken driving and motor vehicle homicide in the death of a Massachusetts highway worker. Jeremy Gardner is accused of hitting 57-year-old Gregory Vlidenitsky of Framingham with his pickup truck while Vlidenitsky was working on a paving project on Route 9 in Framingham, September 14, 2010. Authorities say the 31-year-old Gardner kept driving after he hit the man, only stopping when he hit a parked oil truck. Police have said Walter Smith of Vermont, a passenger in the vehicle, climbed into the driver's seat and attempted to drive away. Smith is charged with driving under the influence and is being tried separately. Jury selection in Gardner's trial is scheduled to begin today. In sports, the Manchester Monarchs made more progress toward the playoffs this weekend, while the Portland Pirates slipped further behind in their hope to snag the 8th and final playoff spot. The Monarchs beat the Worcester Sharks 5-1 in a so-called Go Green carbon-neutral game yesterday afternoon in Manchester. The Monarchs shut out the Pirates 5-0 in Manchester Saturday. The Pirates lost a second game yesterday in a 2-1 shootout against the Providence Bruins in Rhode Island. The Monarchs remain in second place in the Atlantic Division. The Pirates will host the Monarchs Wednesday night in Portland. From the Northway Bank Online Newsroom, I'm Gare McKenzie.